Today I will give you 2 effective and easy to use tools that will help you in finding joyous, rewarding and impactful work. Welcome to the Change Age. My name is Michael and we're here to make transformation work. I think for most people, work should consist of 4 different aspects. It should be somewhat fun. It should be something where they can apply their skills, their competencies, their knowledge. It should be something that they can be rewarded for, probably in the form of money or some other resources. And also, for me, most important is that the work should be impactful. You should see that you're doing something that's good for society and, for people around you. And of course, that's not an easy task. Work nowadays is understood as this thing of 9 to 5, you go there, you do whatever is asked of you, and then you go home and you should forget about everything because work is just a means to an end, which is making money so that you can support yourself and your family. However, in the last 15 years, I've supported hundreds of people in finding their passion, in finding their impact in their lives. So I know that it shouldn't be a struggle forever. There is tools out there that you can use in order to find whatever is fulfilling for you. This video, this episode, is part of a series. I'm doing this series about how to become a change maker. And I want to support change makers, young or old, in creating change for the world because that's desperately needed right now. We need a lot of people showing that we can do things differently, that society doesn't have to be as it is right now. So the first tool that I use regularly for myself and in my coachings is Ikigai. It's very easy and it really helps you in focusing on what's important for you. I have created a little canvas for you. You can download it in the description. It's the Ikigai canvas. You can just use it, download it, print it if you like, and then write your answers to the questions in this canvas. These 4 aspects of Ikigai are quite simple to understand and you can ask yourself some very interesting questions. So first, of course, whatever you do should reward you. So most people think of money, but it could be any resource that you need in order to live. I'm not a fan of thinking of the occupation that I'm doing in my life as a job, as a career. I don't like jobs. I don't like careers. What I do is I do activities. I do stuff because I want to fill my life with interesting things. So whatever I do most of the day, like 8 hours every day under weekdays, is something that should be rewarding me, right? It should give me something that I need in order to survive. That could be money, but it doesn't have to be. It could be any sort of resource that you need. It could be accommodation, it could be joy, it could be connection, it could be food, whatever it is. In most cases, of course, in your occupation, you will strive to get money because with money you can get many of the things that you need in life, sometimes better, sometimes worse. But yeah, so point number 1, aspect number 1 that is absolutely important for your occupation is finding something that you can get rewarded for. In the best case, I'm doing something that I'm good at, where I can apply my skills, my knowledge, my abilities. Yet, I think there should be some room for learning because I don't have to be perfect in these things, right? I can always learn something new. But starting with my talents is often a very good starting point for my adventures. Whatever my work is should also feel meaningful. I should have joy doing it. And of course, there's this argument of having meaningful work is something that only the rich can afford. And I think this argument is dangerously unethical. Everybody has the urge to do something that's meaningful. Of course, not everybody has the resources to do that yet, but having a meaningful occupation, doing something with joy is so important for us human beings. So I think everybody should embrace that urge. My work should not only be meaningful to me, but it should also create something that's meaningful to the world, so something that the world needs. That's why we're entering the main theme of this channel, right? We are talking about creating something that's good for society. And the scientific term for this is social value. We want to generate social value. Take the canvas, fill it in. You can pause the video right now, fill it in now, or you can do it later, whatever is better for you. When you fill it in, chances are that in the field of what the world needs, there is something that needs change making. Today, part of everybody's occupation should be to find solutions to societal problems. Because there's so many societal problems right now, social and ecological, that we need to solve, that we actually need everybody to be working on this. But many of these societal problems seem intractable, right? They seem so difficult, so systemic. How can we actually change them? I mean, it's big things we're talking about. How can the little me do anything against that? With the little knowledge I have, little network I have, what can I do? Probably nothing, right? And that's where the second framework that I have with me today comes into play. It's created by Sara Saraswati, who is a researcher in entrepreneurship who talked to a lot of entrepreneurs that are successful, how they think. She's come up with this term of effectuation. It's very different to what we nowadays understand under the term management. When you are managing a company or an organization, what you do is you plan, right? It's causal. You say that whatever we want to create in the future, our vision, our mission, we can plan for. We plan everything. We plan for every risk involved. And what she saw in entrepreneurs is that they actually thought the other way around. They didn't understand the world as something that you plan through perfectly and then suddenly everything is in the right place just as you wanted. But as an entrepreneur with little resources, with no product or service yet built, you start somewhere else. Effectuation consists of 5 principles. You start with what you have. You don't plan perfectly what you will need in the future, but you just look at the resources that you actually have right now. Also for effectuation, I have created this easy canvas for you. It has all the 5 different points that make up effectuation. You can use what you've filled in the Ikigai canvas in that field, because that's your resources, right? So you have your resources, what you're good at, who you know, what you're capable of doing. And that is the starting point of your adventure. The second principle is to focus on what you can control. So when we think about the biggest challenges, probably I'm not capable of steering society alone into a certain direction so that that challenge is solved. But there's little things in my direct vicinity that I can actually influence. And I'm gonna start with that, of course. Maybe I know some people, maybe I have a certain knowledge, maybe there's certain projects that I can do. Maybe I can bring people together to change something locally. So start with something that is smaller, bite-sized, that you can start with. And from there on, you can create something bigger, right? That's everybody's social entrepreneur's journey. They create something small and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger over time. And at the end, they actually create big impact for society. The third principle is super important, especially for those of you who want to become change makers, who want to become social innovators or social entrepreneurs. Because whatever you do, whatever idea you have will probably turn into a project, but you don't know what's around the next corner. It will not materialize, right? You don't know. There's a lot of risk involved. And remember, we are not in management, in the causal management kind of thinking where we can just plan for the risks, because we just don't know what comes around the corner. I know that. I've lived that a lot of times. So what you do instead is to calculate what you are willing to lose if your idea doesn't turn out to be good. And that might feel a bit strange in the beginning, because what am I willing to lose? I don't want to lose anything. But you can actually calculate for yourself how much effort, how much energy, how much of your heart, right? And that will help you in understanding how long you will take your idea. And if you are beginning to approach one of these boundaries that you set for yourself, then you can look at how far have you come. Is it worth to keep on going, or is this idea just not materializing right now? I swear to you, I've been through this. Whatever you do, there will be surprises. And then taking these surprises, doesn't matter if they're negative, if they're positive, taking these surprises and turning them into something valuable, that's your job. Because in the end, you don't know what happens. And that's the fun of it, right? That's the adventure of it all. But taking whatever comes around the corner and putting it to work, to putting it into something that's effective, that's your job. And now the last principle, principle number 5, build partnerships early. If you're a change maker, if you want to become a change maker, you probably are not well known, you don't have a product, you don't have a certain solution. Maybe you can't do everything. Maybe you can't do everything to build that solution. And that's fair, that's absolutely fine. Nobody's perfect, right? What you can do is find partners, organizations, individuals that can go with you in this adventure, that can support you in creating a solution that actually works. That way you can focus on whatever you can do best, your skills, your abilities, your knowledge. And bringing these partners together then forms a quasi-organization, right, that you can work with to create impact. So that's 2 tools that you can use in order to find an occupation that's both joyous, impactful, and rewarding. And if you're considering becoming a change maker yourself, subscribe to this channel. We will do a lot of episodes on how to become a change maker, how you can create impact in this world. There's a playlist where this video is bedded into, a playlist of how to become a change maker. It's in the show notes. And if you don't want to wait, the very first video is clickable here. Clickety, click, click. And also, if you have ideas, questions, anything that I could answer, please write it in the comments. Looking forward to that.